Good day, everyone. I am Monito Cabuna III. I am the next reporter of this topic, humidity, geographic distribution, and time variation. Next. What is humidity? It's the amount of water vapor in the air. If there is a lot of water vapor in the air, the humidity will be high. The higher the humidity, the wetter it feels outside. On the weather reports, humidity is usually explained as relative humidity. So, ang humidity di ay kay kana siya, halimbawa kanang hamog o kaya kanang mag-ulan gud kanang fogs. Muna siya ang humidity. Next is geographical distribution. The natural arrangements and apportionments of the various forms of animals and plants in the different regions and localities of the earth. So kaning geographical distribution, kani siya arrange sa mga kan ba, mga hayop o mga tanom kung asa sila nabilong o asa na sila pwede mabuhi. Parehas aning animals na mga hayop na mabuhi na sa bugnaw na lugar. Pareha aning mga penguins ug mga bear. Tapos napoy uban na kuan ng mga hayop na sa init na sila mabuhi para sa mga camel. Tapos napoy mga tanom na uban na tanom na nang sa Asia lang siya mabuhi og kanang sa kuan. Ang uban na kuan sa bugnaw pod mabuhi na uban na tanom na sa bugnaw na sila mabuhi. Next, importance. Delimitation of the distribution areas of the species has fundamental implication for the understanding of biodiversity and for the decision making in conservation. Presently, the discovery of these species in the new location caused the increase in the known distributions, whereupon it was reclassified in a lower risk category. So next. What are the types of distribution and geography? So now tayo to look at types of distribution in geography. Ang una-una kay uniform distribution, ang second is random, and the third one is clumps. So sa uniform distribution means that the population is evenly spaced, or random indicates random spacing, and clumps means that the population is distributed in cluster. Uniform dahil kaya na sila set our numbers or total na dili sila bungkig para sa isa ka species sa hayop. Na pag naay mga kwan mabawas na mga dungog. Next, random. Distribution occurs where resources are distributed evenly or sporadically. Dandelions grow in a random patterns as do many other plants whose seeds are distributed by wind. Clumps distributions are found in place where resources are patchy. So kaning random di ay magpareha ni siya sa tanom na halimbawa kaning random distribution halimbawa sa kwan sa tanom. Halimbawa magputol og kahoy, halimbawa 50 ka punuan ang giputol, so wala ta kabalo kung pila ka punuan ang pila na pud ka tanom ang mabuhi sa isa ka area, isa ka lugar. Naay mo puli ba? Naay mo puli. Next, ang ikatulo is clump distributing, also called aggregate distribution. Clumps dispersion or patchiness is the most commonly type of dispersion found in the nature. In clumps distribution, the distance between neighboring individuals is minimized. So kaning clumps mura siya naka-set of groups. Naka-uniform sila pero naka-grupo-grupo. Next is, so mo siya ang image sa kuan. Ano siya ang picture sa distribution geography. So makita niyo din sa picture kani ang random, uniform o clump. Clump organism are clustered together into groups. This may reflect a patchy distribution or resources in the environment, and this is the most common pattern of the dispersion. So ang random organism have a predictable distribution. This is a typical of species in which individuals do not interact strongly. Tapos ang uniform organism are evenly spaced over the area they occupy. This is typical of species in which individuals compete for scarce environmental resources such as water in a desert. Next. Next is time variation. Time variation, a change in form, position, or condition, a routine could use some variation. Amount of change or difference. Scientists record the variation in temperature, departure from what is usual to a group. The poodle offspring shows no variation from the breed. Next. The variation in time series can be divided into two parts. So, kaning time variation na siya duha ka klase. Long-term variation and short-term variation. Ang long-term variation can be divided into two parts. So, napani duha ka klase ng long-term variation. Ang duha ka klase sa long-term variation kay secular variation and cyclic variation. Secular variation of a time series, it is long-term, non-periodic variation. Whether a variation is perceived as secular or not depends on the available timescales. A variation that is secular over a timescales of centuries may be segment of what is over timescales of millions of years, a periodic variation. So kaning secular variation, pag iba-iba sa time depende sa lugar. Kay naiuban lugar di sa kwan sa earth na kwan lang ng puro lang buntag walay gabi og napoy parehas sa tuwa na nagbuntag og gabi. Next is cyclic variation. Is any change in economic activity that is due to some regular and or recurring cause such as a business cycle or seasonal cycle. So kaning cyclic variation dai murag kwan. Kaning cyclic variation parehas sa cyclic variation. So kaning cyclic variation dahil murag kuan siya ng na due sa cyclic variation is any change in economic activities that is due to some regular and or recording costs such as a business cycle or a seasonal. So kaning cyclic variation dahil murag pare halimbawa by season ba kung halimbawa tig-init diri sa halimbawa sa Pilipinas na may kuan diri tig-init og ulan duha ka season. So makakuan siya sa business sa mga business halimbawa pag init ang kusog na business kay kuan ang tanan kanang mga kanang bugnaw na mga kuan ba halimbawa kanang mga ice cream mo na kusog so pag ting ulan na pod kusog na pod kanang murag mga kape pampainit sa lawas sa tao para kuan. Next. Ang ikaduha ay short-term variation can be divided into two parts. Ang short-term variation nasa duha ka klase. Seasonal variation and irregular variation. Seasonal variation is a variation in a time series with 1 year that is repeated more or less regularly. Seasonal variation may be caused by the temperature, rainfall, public holidays, cycles of seasons or holidays. Depende kaning seasonal variation depende sa weather sa earth. Depende sa weather sa isa ka lugar. Halimbawa di sa Pilipinas, seasonal man na ay duha ka season, tig-init o tig-ulan. Ang irregular variation irregular variation are if irregular and do not repeat in a definite pattern. It includes all other types of variation like seasonal, secular trends, seasonal and cyclical movements. Irregular variations are caused by floods, earthquakes, strikes, and wars. So kaning irregular variation kanang kan ba kanang kanang dili siya magsunod sa kwan ba halimbawa tig-init na season karon pero nagaulan murag dili siya masunod sa iyang season mo siyang irregular. So mawala na siya akong report. Salamat sa pagpaminaw.